What's up, everybody? Damon here with John Ryan.
Hi there.
And we are here to share 9 things we've learned about Cyberpunk 2077 since E3.
Yeah.
This is stuff we've gathered from interviews that the developers did during E3 and have posted on social media since then. So let's get right to it. Number 1, in Cyberpunk 2077, you can't drive flying cars.
Cool. That's
so
probably,
I'm out.
No, honestly, like, for safety reasons, for everyone in that world, that's
true.
probably the best thing that they could have decided on.
No, the lead cinematic director says, yes, there will be moments when you are in AVs, aerial vehicles, but you're not going to be able to control it, because if you refer to the source material, AVs are like the most expensive things in the Cyberpunk 2020 world.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can buy vehicles in 2020, like you can buy cars and motorcycles and like basically the equivalent of smart cars and stuff. But like you basically will just never be able to afford a flying car.
Yeah,
ever.
we're not playing a fancy rich boy, rich girl.
I mean, you can totally play as like a rich corporate executive, but even they cannot afford flying
but
cars.
not that rich.
No. You're not like a myth or a meth.
But you can ride bikes.
Yes.
So they do have bicycles.
You mean motorcycle, right? Or like bicycles?
I think bicycles.
Like with a little bell on it?
Yeah, I think it's bicycles.
I know what I'm doing for that entire 70-hour game.
So it's an advanced civilization, but not so advanced that they don't need bicycles anymore.
I think in that riding in the AV part, like you kind of saw that bit in the trailer where the guy like pulls up outside that window and fires a big like mounted gun through into that group of like gangsters. I think we'll see a lot of those segments, like where you're riding shotgun basically.
Yeah, and it's sort of on rails.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. Do not expect to meet The Witcher's Ciri in Cyberpunk. And now, why would people even think that?
So there was a bit in The Witcher 3, I think it was one of the optional conversation dialogues, where Ciri mentions going to a world that had, what was it, like houses of glass and people with metal in their heads.
Exactly.
But I think this has one of my favorite quotes that I've seen from a dev in forever.
Yeah, this is like Adam Badowski, he's the game director, and he says, "We are not Kingdom Hearts."
It's like, okay.
We're not joining universes, and he says, "I am totally against it." So
yeah.
He sounds pretty hardline against.
I think, if anything, that
games.
was a fun Easter egg for Cyberpunk fans who were playing The Witcher.
Yeah.
I'm glad to sort of get it already confirmed so that I, as a wiki writer, don't have to, like, where is it?
One less thing to worry about for you.
Exactly.
All right, number 4. Abilities are based on 3 classes: Netrunner, Techie, and Solo.
Yeah.
But you don't choose a class at the beginning of the game.
So that's the thing. It's like if you're playing the tabletop game, you could choose one of, I think it's 9 classes, or roles they call them, not classes. But in this one, the way that character advancement works is that instead of saying, I want to be a solo, and a solo is basically like a mercenary or a soldier for hire, and they, like, you basically say, okay, I want to spend this many points that I have to build my character on my combat abilities.
Yeah.
So we saw stuff in the demo that was like, you know, you can slow down time, or you can potentially, you know, if you want to focus on melee combat, you can like run on walls and slide over things.
Yeah, it sounds like there's 3 skill trees, and you can spend points in any one that you want to sort of customize your play style.
A techie is like sort of like a the Netrunner is like a hacker, so it's like if you want to get into like if you want to enter the cyberspace.
Yeah, the Matrix.
Pretty much, yeah. But then the techie is more someone who is like capable of like using their cyber tech or medical technology, like med techs are totally a thing. We saw them in the trailer, like hacking, like picking locks, basically, because everything is electronic. They're the engineers, essentially.
So there's 3 classes from Cyberpunk 2020 that you'll be able to learn abilities from.
Yeah.
However, number 5, other Cyberpunk 2020 classes will appear in the NPCs that you meet in the game.
Yeah, so like you've seen like corporates. There was a corporate class in the RPG. You can see them in the trailer. It sounds like your partner in the demo that we saw, Jackie, I think their name was. It sounds like they were more of a fixer class type, which is basically like sort of the dude who like wheels and deals and sets up like, you know, sort of more nefarious business on the streets of Night City.
All right, number 6, there will be multiple companions that you meet along the way. The developers say you're definitely going to encounter different characters that will come with you on different missions as well. So maybe those are some of the different classes from 2020.
So yeah, we'll probably see a lot of those. News. Like I mentioned Jackie a second ago, they were in our demo. We'll probably see a corporate one, maybe a nomad. Nomads are kind of like Mad Max style, like basically like warriors who just like, they roam the highways because they had, like the idea is that they were like farmers or like rural civilians who just like, the corporations just like took their land. They're like, this is ours now, sorry. And so they now are forced to basically live sort of like gypsies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, number 7, conversations in the game will be seamless. The developers say we're trying to create a seamless experience where you don't actually see the big difference between the gameplay and the cinematics. So I guess, for example, I'm playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Origins right now.
Yep.
In that game, you have to walk up to an NPC, press triangle to initiate the conversation, fade to black, fade back.
Yeah,
black,
we saw it in The Witcher 2.
Conversation,
yeah, I feel like the sense I get out of that is that it's a lot more like, I think the Uncharted games do this pretty well. Naughty Dog does this exceptionally, where you'll walk past an NPC, they'll start talking to you, and if you choose to stay there and talk to them, cool, great. But you can also just walk away, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, I guess we were having a conversation, but like, bye, or whatever.
Rude.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jeez.
Like the number of times that I jumped out of that Jeep in Uncharted 4, and Sully was just like, hey, where are you going? I was talking at you.
Yeah. Well, it's like in God of War when they say, we'll continue this conversation another time.
Yeah, it's becoming a more and more popular trend in games, and it's something I really like. It does help boost immersion and really sort of flesh out the random characters that you run into in the world.
For sure. Number 8, multiplayer won't feel disconnected from the core game, and maybe 8.5 could be there's multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing.
That part.
This was one thing that the article we knew it. I did not know this.
IGN as a whole
the
knew
royal
it.
we. Specifically, I had
These
no
two
idea.
jokers. News to us.
But that's super cool. I like CDPR's approach to sort of development in general. They don't put something out there into the world if they don't like fully endorse it. So I don't think we'll be seeing like I think there's a part in there where it's like there's no tacked on like bullcrap.
Yeah, they say we are primarily a single-player studio. Whatever form multiplayer takes, just know we are doing the research to make sure it sticks to our core as a studio as well.
It's not just going to be like a bunch of you in a room with different colored versions of an avatar, like Half-Life, for example.
Sure. Yeah. And finally, number 9, the game is currently in pre-alpha.
Oh man.
So like alpha is essentially the stage where all the key features are in place, but it's not polished at all.
Yeah.
They're before that.
Pre-alpha, I mean, when they say it's in pre-alpha, I feel like partially like...
it's just in development, right?
What they have built is the demo that they showed off.
That's
like I feel like that's probably like the most function. And that's not a bad thing at all. That means that they know the systems that they want to put in place, but it means that they're going to take time to do it.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you this. If it's in pre-alpha now, when is this game coming out? Could it come out next year?
I doubt it. I think we're going to see Cyberpunk at earliest, and probably realistically because they like little Easter eggs like this, in 2020. A, because they need to finish it, which is going to take a lot of time.
Makes sense.
B, it seems like they're kind of wink, wink, nod, nodding to the original tabletop game. So like they first released the initial teaser for Cyberpunk 2077 in 2013. And super huge nerds like me will know that the very first edition of the Cyberpunk tabletop game was set in 2013. So I wouldn't be surprised if sort of like as a nod to the original game, if they develop up until 2020 and then release.
Interesting. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 9 things we've learned about Cyberpunk 2077 since E3. How are you feeling about the game these days? Let us know in the comments. And for much more on Cyberpunk, stay tuned, IGN.